I'm going to
Val,
call
are we all
this.
set? Okay, I
Okay.
just want to make sure she
Yeah,
was all set.
She's
so-
still there. We haven't put her to sleep. All right, good morning, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm calling this meeting to order. By that clock, it's at 9:04 a.m. on January 13th. And our first item after calling to order is our Pledge of Allegiance. So could you rise and join me, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Oops. All right. We're not used to the wheels.
I know, the thing goes out when you're on the floor.
Okay, so we now have the minutes of our December meeting. Thank you for sending them out ahead of time. Beverly, I hope everybody had a chance to read through. Did? Cindy, you did not?
No, she said she got them at home,
You haven't home, okay.
Yeah.
They're at home.
yeah.
It's okay. All
On my
right.
iPad.
It's all right.
I read them, honey. Do you want to read a copy of mine?
I was going to give her a copy, she said
Oh.
she was all set.
Okay.
She said, thank you.
All right.
Any comments or suggestions, updates, corrections?
I have a correction.
Yes?
I don't know if it needs to be documented that I participated remotely on that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know, because your name's up here
You're up
on
here as
present,
attended.
as
Okay.
present, as attended.
Okay.
But I think whether you attend remotely or not, I don't think we have to document that, as far as I know. If I'm mistaken, I'm sure somebody will let me know, but I don't believe so.
According to Robert's rules, no, I don't know
Okay.
what the state requires.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will let us know if the state
is right.
requires. But we do know that Lisa was present
Yes.
and keeping her germs to
For
herself.
myself, yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, hearing no corrections or suggestions other than Lisa's comment of her remote. Anything else? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept? As,
I move to accept
I
minutes.
second.
and he seconds. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposition, so we can move on. Our next item is our treasurer's report. Mary, you have,
Okay, I passed out the old-fashioned one, and I've got a new one I tried, to see if people want it. This is because I can't make the report that I make, because I don't get the second page of the cumulative report. I need the cumulative report to do all of that.
okay.
So I tried something different and see if anybody likes it, and if not, then I won't do it. I'll just keep
Okay, would you walk us through then
Yeah.
what you've given us this morning, please?
Okay, the first two are your November and December. You know, the
Yeah.
normal one that, the page one of page 2 and 3. November and December.
Gotcha, okay.
They're updated because things came in, journal entries were made, and it changed everything when I got the new reports. So I changed them for everybody to have the updated one.
All right.
The one for December,
This is updated because the information came in after our meeting, is that,
Yeah.
that's right? After. All right,
I see.
gotcha.
and in the December one, we were looking for a journal entry. We're still looking for a journal entry from you.
For the ARAW?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's still not in the,
Okay,
and
so,
then the scholarship, you probably have to do that.
I just did the scholarship for December yesterday,
Okay.
because I was waiting to get the stuff from Ann.
Well, I got the stuff Monday from
Oh.
them, so
Okay.
I wasn't done yet.
Okay.
Okay.
so
So
this
I
is as
will,
of Monday.
so I will update and send you all on computer the updated one when I get the rest of the information that's coming after this meeting. But for the December one, I changed it just to the month, like we were doing before for that one, so that you see what's happening in a month. You know, in a month's time.
Yep, yep.
And I don't know if you want this to
Yeah,
do
I will.
January, February, each month, instead of just doing this report. This tells what we spent out of every account. That's all I can do with what I get.
Okay, so give us a moment, would you, to
Yeah.
look at this.
Well,
So this is, this page that you gave us just now
yep,
is as of December 31st from each of the accounts. Gotcha, all right.
it actually starts out with the ending balance or the starting balance July 1st.
Right.
So that you know what
Right.
our accounts had.
Right,
And then I did December revenue,
right.
December wages, and December expenses, what we use, and the balance now.
So is it safe to say, Muriel, that on a monthly basis, those numbers will change based on what we're spending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be nice to see it on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
I think it's
And
great.
each month it would show, and then the cumulative would go down.
yeah.
And then if we had any questions
Yeah.
based on an expense, we could ask at that time.
Yep.
And then it correlates with Bev's report usually of what's gone on for the month.
Yes,
The
What
director's
report?
report.
What report?
The direct,
my director's
Oh, director's.
report, yeah.
Yeah.
When I say that we,
Yeah.
either we got a.
whatever the activity was.
Yep.
Okay,
We got financial coming in, we spent money, what it was.
Yeah, that's great.
okay.
Okay, and I
This is
want,
helpful to see it, I think, in terms of the different grades. So
Yeah.
that's helpful.
and if you like it, I will produce November, so you have and send it to you on the computer, and you can look at it if you want. So you can see the months, because I tell you how many pay periods, because it changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Different months. There's 3, there's 2. It helps to see how much we spend, what money comes in.
Can you keep it that font, because I can read it?
Yeah.
I can't read the other one.
I know, yeah, it is, it's true.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just can't, so that's perfect for me.
Right, I would say if you could, take of the first one that you have.
And you need it small because you got so many columns.
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
And-
Makes
and-
sense.
Yeah.
and This makes sense because it breaks it down by the,
Category.
income.
Income, wages,
Right.
revenue, and
Yeah,
expenses,
yeah.
yeah.
So-
I like-
And that all equals, if you look at it, it all equals, but you have to, in other words, this is cumulative, this is monthly.
Yes.
Right,
Got it.
right,
But you can always refer from cumulative to monthly, because the
Right.
numbers will
right.
show the progression.
Well, you gotta take December minus November will give you your revenue.
Right.
Yeah, I like it better this way. It's easier
That's
for me.
what I figured.
It's 1 month.
Yeah, I think that that's what we're looking at. The issue comes up over and over again, is that this is great, it's hard to maybe explain to others.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it's a learning process for us
Yeah.
as well, because we don't deal with this every day. So this is helpful, but I think part of the issue is that when 1 month ends, it's not like it stops and it gets something, a bill gets held over to, or an item gets held over to the next month. I mean, you are suggesting when you put your sheets together, your reports together, that it goes back. So some of the
It's a cash
information.
basis. It's
so-
on a cash
On a
basis.
cash basis. But I think that that's something, unless you're used to accounting, or like,
Yeah.
at the end of the month, if we meet this, we're meeting at what, the 10th of the month, the 11th of the month? Or so.
Things have
Yeah,
happened.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, it just, and with
Things
the
have happened.
holidays and with mail, and so a lot of times it's not precisely. to the
100%,
penny.
yeah.
And I think that we have been asking for a higher level, not necessarily like down to the penny, but just trends so that we can explain to people, like, yes, we have these funds, but it doesn't cover X, Y, and Z or whatever. So this is very helpful.
Yeah, and if you look at the balances, our transportation is a little bit higher because you're charging,
AREW,
no,
Oh.
you're charging, the transportation clerk to formula. So
yes,
you're-
yes.
You're
We're not
decreasing
spending-
formula greatly.
Yes,
You might run into trouble with that, depending on how much money you get the next month.
right. Well,
But it doesn't matter, it can be shifted back and forth, so.
Well, and I like the note at the bottom so that people understand the note that Muriel put about the appropriation has a negative balance expenses due to the insurance reimbursement. We did get $10,000 from MIA Insurance for our risk management grant. I applied for that to cover the grease trap in the kitchen, and we did get that. So that's got to get deposited in, I don't know exactly when we got it, but, and that's why we're at a
December
negative.
19th, you got it.
Yeah, that's why,
Deposited.
yeah, so it, by the time it goes in,
Yeah.
so that's why we ended up with that negative balance, so that'll,
Right.
that
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
change. So-
because it got deposited a long time, the bill got paid, I think, in September.
Yeah, it was September, the end of, yeah, we had to do it right away.
Yeah,
So,
so the insurance money came in after.
Right. And that
Yeah.
happens, so it's hard
Yeah.
to have it up to the minute when you're not having all of your bills or your income coming in as a
Yeah, it took me a little while to get through MIA, because I had to resubmit it 2 or 3 times on their website, and
Right.
one time I didn't get everything that I needed, and it kicked back, and so it's usually, yeah, it takes a little bit of time, it's not always.
They make you
But-
work
but-
first.
Yeah, but I had until May, so I was
That's
good.
right. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Beverly. Okay, any further questions from the
I have
board?
one thing I want to say. I want to thank Joanne Landry for all the help in getting these reports. She's worked on a couple others, and they're great.
Yeah,
Oh, my,
yeah.
they're great. They're
Yeah.
much easier to use than the beginning.
yeah, they're much more user-friendly for the things that we do. Joanne's in the accounting office, she's the assistant town accountant.
Thank you.
And she's done a great job. Muriel's worked with her about what we used to do and what our needs were, so that she could fine-tune that program,
Right.
that report that we need. And it's been really good. It's
And
been really, really
She's
good.
got a normal, well, they call it a normal trial balance.
Yeah.
It even trial balances the general fund,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's wonderful.
yeah.
All the numbers match,
Good.
Yeah.
So the new system, the kinks are being,
getting better.
Yes,
Getting
well,
better.
for the reports, because each report that each department needs is something a little bit different. So because of that, she's been fine tuning what each department needs. So there's been a lot of work in the accounting office for sure.
Absolutely.
Since they started this, and I think they just got this in June. I don't believe that they had it much sooner than June to
Yeah.
learn this
No, it was last
system.
minute.
Yeah,
Just
No,
so
a lot of
they've had to work really hard with all of the departments. So shout out to the accounting department for all the work, and Joanne
Absolutely.
for the reports with what she's done.
Well-
I agree, Muriel, it was great, it's been
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
They're getting, I've got them. I'm down to just using 2 reports now,
Now, wow,
instead of, I got a stack about this deep of reports.
yeah,
All kinds, and you use pieces from each one, and it's like,
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's
Yeah,
making
it's-
sense and it's settling down.
Yeah.
That's good, when the town buys a product that we
yeah.
can all use.
They,
It
6 months
actually
isn't
works.
too bad.
So any further questions for Muriel?
oh, I want to notice the social day is getting down too.
yes, yes. Well, we had a Citizens for Citizens person that was working 20 hours a week, and Citizens for Citizens was paying for that person. So in July, they had stopped that federal program. Because they stopped it, we've had to add another staff person on. That's why supportive day is going down, the amount's going down. But we did increase the fee schedule, so starting in January, it's $60 a day, and transportation fees have gone up too. So hopefully, we'll see some of that turn around. So,
Right, right. And that was approved by the select board, I think, in November?
yeah, I think so. I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Muriel?
No?
Any other comments or suggestions? Okay, do I have a motion to accept as presented?
I move, do we accept this?
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Lisa? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good, thank you, Muriel. Okay, Beverly, you're up next now with your report.
Okay, to go through the report quickly, I'm still waiting on the DOT transportation $75,000 grant that I did, and I'm hoping early 2026 is when they said it would be notified.
Excuse me, what?
DOT, Department of Transportation, operational funding. I applied this, I had this last time too. It was $75,000 that I applied for a grant, and the notification is in early 2026. So,
Is that something we've always gotten done?
no, we've never gotten it.
Oh.
Okay. We've never gotten it because it's, they've never done, CERTA's never done operational information, operational grants. They've only done vehicle grants.
Okay.
So
When
this
would
is,
it be available if you get it? For what period?
I believe it's, if it's early January, I believe it's going to cross fiscal years. So it's going to be 26 into 27, I think. I want to say it's 18 months, Miro, but I'm not positive, but I think it might be 18 months.
Good.
So, which would be really good. And then the $200,000 grant from Mass Cultural Council, that will notify in mid-May, so that's down the line.
Mid-May.
Mid-May, yeah,
Mid-May,
that's the
yeah.
notification. And that, again, is also 18 months period.
And have we been successful in getting that one as well?
I haven't done either one of those before, they're new.
So it's like a 50/50?
They're new, they're all new, so we'll see. I met with FinCom, the town administrator at the time didn't change the request for budget. I detailed the transportation costs and the need for significant increase in that line item because of much more competition for grant funds. I didn't get grant funds that I usually get. And we were notified by Senator Michael Rodrigues that we were going to be awarded again $5,000 from South Coast Community Foundation for the Senator Michael Rodrigues Empowerment Grant Fund for 2026. So he notified me by phone. I don't have a letter yet, but we should be seeing it. Then that money we get ahead of time, they give us the $5,000. And that's the one that we had voted on last time of the 5 or 6 different items that we could use it for. Because he's just said, use it whatever you need for. So rather than just putting best use, we wanted some detailed information. So, let's see, Supportive Day Program. We've had, quite a bit of flu going through the center. It was going everywhere. So we've had a little bit of a decrease from 21 to 19 people a day. And there were 12 days in December. But we continue to get a lot of volunteers. We had 256 and a half hours of 7 volunteers working in the supportive day. So that's really good. Even though we still have to put extra staff on, we still have the volunteers too. And that's been helping us too. Transportation continues to be booming. Volunteer, we really could use more volunteers, and I think we might do a recruiting for volunteers. Set up some flyers and maybe do a volunteer application day or something like that at the center. We might do that and see if we can't get some volunteers. We have a new volunteer who's going to start with the tech class and for one-to-one instruction, and a new volunteer for supportive day aid. Outreach did their Medicare open enrollment, and it ended on December 7th, I believe. But they were still very, very busy, and they still keep getting calls. They were getting calls the last week. Oh, can I meet with you? It's like and they've been booked, and they worked till 4:30, 5 o'clock some nights. Actually, somebody was very upset because one of the counselors wouldn't meet with them on a Saturday to do it because they called at the last minute. She's like, I'm sorry, but we don't work Saturdays. We don't have it. So, yeah. It's just Medicare open enrollment is getting busier and busier and busier. So, and SNAP and HIP food assistance, we've had a lot. Cindy did a HIP trip on December 7th with, I think, 8 people. And the HIP trip is the Healthy Incentive Program. It's a food program, and they go to the New Bedford Food Shed, and they get fresh produce, organic produce. They actually even do some education. They did an education event that day, too. Activities continue to be busy. A lot of our people do go to Florida for the winter or after the holidays, so we see a little bit of a decrease in the census for people, but then they all come back in the spring.
I think people are also ill. I mean.
And people are and I believe people are staying home, which is really good. So, and I have, so we talked about, we want to recruit volunteers, but I also want to recruit volunteers for the Repair Fair event.
Yeah.
And I have an intern coming in on Thursday and Friday who's going to put together some flyers for us. So I'll have her do one for the Repair Fair and one for other volunteers for the center. We're going to do the job description after, because I have some other things to go over. I did get a notification from MCOA that this year the dues rate for fiscal year '27 is not going up. They're keeping it at the same. We did go from $15 to $16 per elder for the next coming year, which is great, through the state, but they're not going up on their dues. I think their dues are like 28 cents per senior, which I think it's like $1,900, 20 cents, somewhere around there anyway, a year for the membership. But the membership's very, very well worth it, and I'll give you an example. They're doing a 5-week class on Canva, how to use Canva, and our newsletter is, after the end of this year, they will no longer be supporting a publisher, so we're going to have to use something different. So Coral and I are both going to take that class. It's 5 weeks in a row on a Wednesday. I think it starts in the middle of the end of February. And it's at no cost because I'm a member of MCOA. So it's 5 weeks of training at no cost. And a lot of times, the cost is either like $20 to pay for the luncheon that we're at, or nothing, minimal. So it's well worth the the little bit of money that we pay for our membership. So
It's also a great source, I think, of professional information.
Yes.
And there's a great deal of sharing
Yeah.
between and among towns and cities in the Commonwealth. So it's just, yeah, absolutely. And it's where I think some of the best conferences
Yes.
and conference materials that I've ever seen have come from the MCOA conference in the fall, so.
Beverly, I wonder if, because these are now televised, it might be important to tell the public and ourselves. It's interesting that we get money from the Commonwealth per every person over, is it 55 or 60?
60.
60.
60.
So every person in this town over 60, we get a check of $15.
The next year it'll be 60, $15 per person, per senior 50 and older.
Okay.
And for us, it's close to $90,000
Okay.
for the year. And it's, we got half of it already, the beginning of the year, which was sometime October, November. Hopefully in February, the end of February or March, we'll get the other half. So, yeah.
So for the public who may be listening to
It's
this,
state money that comes in.
it's state money, it's $90,000 a year, and what do we do with it?
We pay for our outreach staff, we pay for our transportation clerk, we pay for activities, sometimes the exercise instructors. We might pay for water or heat, or, there's a lot of different things that we can use it for. Van drivers, yep.
So you don't use it for, you don't use it for a specific thing? You do-
No, there's a number of things we can use for it. We pay for, I think we can pay for like computer upgrades and things like that if we need to, or equipment. There's a whole packet, and it lists what you can use it for and what you can't use it for.
And can I just ask, does it go to the general fund, or does it come to us specifically?
Comes to, it's
I
a
don't know.
grant.
We're talking to the public.
Yes, it comes into the town, and the town puts it away in an account,
And now
which,
it's
and we have to pull from that. And it's not a revolving account, so it has to be used by the COA. It can't be pulled in by the town. It's like the supportive day program with the fees, the activities with the fees, those are revolving accounts, and the town could take some if they needed to, or access, whatever. But this one's a grant, so it has to be used for the COA, for whatever, we deem.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have two questions. One question is, how do they come up with the amount? Is it based on census?
The number of people that are 60 and older in town,
And how did?
number of 60-year-olds, they go by the census.
Okay.
Yeah, they have all they get the census. They use the 2020 census.
Okay.
We're already under that. We're already over what we did for 2020, because we're already in 2025.
Sure.
But they use that number, so it's like 5,900 and something, I forget.
So they use the census to come up with their number.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
yes.
based on what's awarded in a grant, does it have to be used within that fiscal year?
No,
You
we
use
used
it
to.
Or you lose it,
No,
or
no.
does it carry over?
No, it used to be use it or lose it, but they changed it, they did a 10-year contract, and you can carry over the money. We never used to be able to carry it over, so, and sometimes the state didn't give you the formula grant. If it didn't come in November, it wouldn't come in until maybe February or March, and some towns, our town always let us draw from it, even though it would be a negative, because we had other funds to cover it in case it didn't come in. But other towns were holding on, and they wouldn't let them use it, so they would get this money in, like, say, in February or March, and they would only have 5-6 months to spend it, whatever it was, and it was really difficult, so they decided, no, you can carry it over and hold it over, so we've always had a little bit of balance to carry over, so, yeah.
That's amazing. And what's the name of it called?
Formula grant.
Formula grant.
It's through the state.
Through the
It's
state.
through, it comes through the Executive Office of Aging and Wellness, through the state, and they allocate it,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
So is that the one that shows up on these accounting things as formula?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep, Formula 25 and Formula 26, I think, so. Oh, yeah, we're in the right year, okay.
The finishing off 25. and-
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's great.
I have a correspondence. I spoke with somebody from LPI, who is our newsletter publisher, and we had 8 pages, and we're always running out of space to do the stuff. So I had to do another contract for, I think, 3 years. So I spoke with her, and I said, is there any way we can add we were getting also, I think, 1,600 copies, but we were throwing between 300 and 400 away every month, because we used to have more places where we dropped them off, and some of those places closed after COVID, and we haven't sort of renewed. We've tried other ones. So I asked if there was a possibility that we could go to a 12-page format and cut down on the pages to 1,200. So they agreed to that. We cut down on the pages to 1,200, cut down on the number of items we get, would be 1,200 a month, and it's going to be 12 pages with, I think, 1.5 or 2 advertising pages, so that we have more space to be able to put some things in. And that'll start somewhere in either for March 1st or for April 1st. So I was happy to be able to do that, so that was good. I have my letter of resignation that I did write, and.
Can we skip over that?
Yeah.
I make a motion to skip.
We-
I've never made a motion
Well,
since I've been serving on this board. Can you please make one motion, please?
So, I don't know if you want me to read it or not, but it's gonna go out to, Chris Vitale, it's gonna go out to the town
What would you like to
administrator.
do?
I mean, I can read it, that's fine, if people want,
So you read
to
into
see
the
it.
record,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So, please accept this letter as formal notification that I am retiring from my position as Director of Senior Services at the Westport Council on Aging. My final day of employment will be Monday, August 31st, 2026, in accordance with my 3-month or longer notice period. I am proud of the work we have accomplished during my 11 years here, particularly expansion of programs and staffing, development of the technology cafe classes and one-to-one individual sessions, and pivoting during COVID with the ability to provide much-needed medical transportation and shopping services during this extraordinary time. I am writing to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunities for professional and personal growth I have been given during my time at the Westport Council on Aging. It has been a privilege to lead such a dedicated and compassionate team in serving the needs of the senior community. I am committed to ensuring a seamless transition during my remaining weeks. I will do everything possible to complete my current projects and assist in training my successor to ensure continuity of services. Please let me know how I can best help during this handover period. I wish you and the entire organization continued success. I am grateful for the valuable experience and the relationships I have built here.
Very nice.
Very
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll put that together, and I will give it to the town administrator. He's coming to the center actually tomorrow to meet with me, and I wanted him to see the supportive thing.
And Beverly, I would say you are not resigning, you're retiring.
I did,
Right, but on our agenda, and we don't want people to think that you're resigning. You are
okay, retiring. Okay, I will change, I promise I will change that.
But I think that people need to know
Yes, I am
the
re-
difference that you're
yes, I am re-
still, you're happily leaving.
I am
We're not
retiring,
happy, but-
yes.
but-
So I'll make sure that I change that on that agenda before I
Thank you.
before I put it in.
Thank you, but,
I have a couple of things. One thing that I did get yesterday, and last year when Lisa and I did the Stroke Buddies and Friends, the May 5th event, we partnered with South Coast Hospital and the United Way to do that. And the company that put the grant out was called Borderland Partners. And I got something yesterday from Borderland Partners, and they are again sharing, it says, "I am pleased to share with you information about funding that is available to support collaborative stroke community awareness activities throughout Massachusetts. Up to $15,000 per project is available, and the deadline to apply is February 3rd. And then it gives me all the information about what to do. You have to partner with somebody else. But anyway, we can be a primary on this, as opposed to being the secondary. So I'm like, woo. So again, we just have to find partners that we want to do this with, because Lisa and I had talked about doing it again next year, but how we were going to do it. So she and I are going to have to meet so we can kind of figure out. But I was glad that I got this on my own, so that we can figure out who we want to partner with and how we want to go forward. We might partner with other COAs, we might partner with fire or police or whoever, EMT, whoever we want to partner with, but it's got to be.
CARES program.
Yep, anything, so, but anyway, but that's available to us, so I was like, wow, that's pretty good, so.
Beverly, can I just ask you, do you have a percentage or just a number? Again, I think people are maybe listening in for the first time, don't know how we really work here. How many grants do you get a year, approximately?
I would say 6 to 8, depending on the year. But, I mean, each year it's different depending on what I'm applying for. I used to get 2 from Bristol Elders, or Bristol Aging and Wellness. I used to get 2 from Mass Councils on Aging. I did get 1 from AARP Community Challenge in '22. There are different ones that you get. Like this one is something that I didn't apply for last year, but we were part of with South Coast Hospital, but I'm going to apply for this year. AARP has also just put out another 2026 grant challenge application, so I'll probably be doing that one too. I did apply for the DOT one. I hadn't applied before, other than for the van. So it depends. Formula's a grant. ARAW, which is the Association for the Relief of Aged Women, I apply for that every year. Formula we get every year. Trying to think of some.
So around at least 6 a year, around 6 a year?
Yeah, probably.
And how much money do you think, how much, I mean, I'm just curious, it's a huge.
About 300 to, it could be anywhere from 300 to 500,000. It depends
Wow.
on what's coming in. Because if I get a new van, I'll give you an example. In June of '26, we're going to get the new DOT van, because I applied for that 2 years ago. We'll get it in June of '26. That van is $122,000. And we have a 10 or 15% match. So
Right.
we have to pay like 17 or 20,000. When I got it in 2018, the van costs, I think, $69,000, $70,000,
Right.
and we had to do a 15 or 20% match. It went up, it was doubled from 2018 to now to $122,000. So again, depending on what the grant is for and the amount, and I get some small grants like the South Coast Community Foundation. I've been getting that every year, and I've gotten $5,000. One year, we got $7,000 when we did the marketing and we did the strategic plan. We did that for our person.
I mean, I just went, last question. In relationship, this is not a pejorative question, but I'm just curious, in relationship to other council on agings, would you say that when we apply for grants, we do what everybody else does, we're the average, or are we the exception?
I think we might be above, because I tend to get a lot more, and I hear from other COA directors that they don't have, they might get more from their town, and they get a little bit less from grants, because it's a lot of work, I have to say, it's a lot of work to write grants. It's not just the work to write the grant, but it's the work to do the reports after, and to keep track of everything.
That's
So
right.
every month for Bristol Elders, well, Bristol Aging and Wellness, when we did the technology grant, I'd have to send a report in every month. The scholarship grants, I'd have to send a report in every month and let them know. And then I have to do a quarterly report and then a year-end report. So there's a lot of work that goes, so if I do 6 or 8, I got 6 or 8 reports to
Yeah.
do every month
Every
on
month.
top of this one and everything else.
So how many grants do you apply for within the year? So if we received 6 to 8, how many did you actually apply for? Was it more like 10 or 12? Or do you get most of the ones that you
This,
apply for?
up until this year, I was pretty much getting every one that I applied for, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This year, I applied for 2 for MCOA, and I didn't get those 2
said there was
because there was so much more competition.
Yeah.
I think the number of people that applied for MCOA grants, for the SIG grants, which is service incentive grants, I think it like tripled. So of course, they had to,
Right.
take their money and spread it out. And then the Bristol Aging and Wellness, the same thing. They went from having, $200,000 or $300,000, whatever it was, because they're smaller grants, to people that applied, it was over $1 million. So again, there's much more competition. So I didn't get some of those that I typically get, but there's still others
There's still
in the works, so I'm always looking.
I was going to say, I don't know if everybody on our board and in town is aware that when I've gone to the conferences with Beverly, Beverly has presented on a number of the issues having to do with grants and is a resource to many of the other small towns throughout the Commonwealth. And I don't think that that's something that we often remember here, is that
Yeah.
Beverly's been a grants machine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do have other COA directors and other people calling me and saying, she's a grant queen, if you want to find out
That's
something,
right.
call Bev and see what.
Right.
Can I ask you then, if that's true, and that's a legacy we would like to continue going forward? It sounds like, whether we have a paid position or a volunteer position, it seems like we need somebody to monitor and
Grants.
maintain the requirements for these grants, which you're saying, each one has accoutrement of things you have to do each month,
Right.
okay? I wonder if we'd somehow figure out a way to get an intern or someone that's their job. Because this is a huge source of income that
And
the town the town is not burdened by.
And
Right.
services that
And
we
it-
offer to the
right
people.
services.
that
Yes.
people expect.
Well, I think the other thing too is seeing where Bev has this secret sauce. I mean, we might consider having her as a consultant.
No, I think
I
that's,
mean, I know you're retiring, I get that. But the point is to find some talent that has been doing it as long as she has, that knows the ways of the
Well,
world.
And a
I
lot of
think-
it is reputation.
Yeah, yes.
Quite
Well, and
frankly, it's
repetitious too.
relationships and-
Yeah.
and
You know,
reputation.
and I think, I know that we do this with the commission, there's so much hidden talent in the town of Westport that are retired. that might-
Absolutely.
That might come out of the woodwork
Yes.
saying, you know what, I'll hang out with Bev and find out what she was doing, and
That's
maybe
right.
I can contribute. I know that there are more and more people that are coming to the table wanting to share their expertise, so I think it might be
Absolutely.
worth seeing if there's someone in town, or if Beverly would consider, kind
Well,
of hanging out with us for a while.
Right.
Um,
Well, I know that comes back to our idea of volunteers. I think that we have been very, very aware and making others, the opinion leaders and leaders in the town aware that although people are retired and it's an aging population, there's an inordinate amount of
Skill.
talent
Oh, my God.
and skills in this town of people who have done things in their work life that could very well add to the whole community's and awareness and programs and just, we forget that somehow, and that this is one of our mantras, is that just because you're retired doesn't mean you're dead yet.
Yes.
That we all have a number of.
Close,
very
but
good-
not dead.
Well, we're slower, and you don't have to, but there's a lot of people with a great deal of skills to offer and still able to. So,
Yeah,
That's
and
very
people really need to understand that our outreach department runs totally on grants. A lot of our grant money goes to also pay for transportation, although I did in our town budget this year ask for almost double of that line item for drivers, because we need it. Our activities is all fee-funded, so it doesn't come out of the town. Like, a lot of the services, supportive day is all fee-funded, doesn't come out of the town. So a lot of that is based on grants and fees, that really 65% of what we do is part of grants and fees, and 35% is what the town pays for. So the town, basically, for the staff, it's myself, which is 40 hours, Helene, which is 40 hours, and my maintenance person, which is part-time, along with the drivers. We've really bumped up the drivers a little bit more, though, too, because we need it. But again, if those grants don't come in, we wouldn't have these programs. We wouldn't be able to do what we do. And you know, we are one of the, by the Executive Office of Aging and Independence, recognized as one of the COAs that really, you know, provides a lot of services and provides a lot of really quality services, because we've been recognized by them.
So could I ask you this, based on that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going to push forward here.
Okay.
Based on that, and now you're going to staff meetings, for the department head meetings, okay? I'm wondering, you sit with the FinCom, I mean, I think this is untapped. This is totally, for this town, totally, maybe I'm off here, I don't know. But if the notion that there's grant money out there, I don't know if it's grant money for the planning board, grant money for the rec commission, grant money for the veterans, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like
There is,
at your division, at department head meetings, this might be, or even with the FinCom, we need to make this like a part of the town's DNA going forward. If it works so well for you, for us, why is it not working for the rest of us?
it does. Each of the other departments does fill out grants, like with the fire department does the CARES grant, and the CARES grant's between Westport and Fall River, and it goes to seniors and kids, and it's a grant that goes into and visits seniors and makes sure that they're home safe, they have the CO2 and the fire alarms and things like that. They have, you know, they do all that, they do it with the kids too. So there are grants that are, and I remember having a conversation last year with Jim Hartnett at the time, and I asked him, I said, you know, maybe the town would look into hiring a grant writer. And he said, that's a good idea, but there's a lot of work that's involved after. And I said, well, I understand that, but each department kind of does their own. So I don't know if, I know other towns have a grant writer, and that's what they do. But if you have a grant writer, that person has to be skilled in every one of those department, whatever the niche is, niche, however you say it, for each department. So the fire department, the police department, the Board of Health, I know Matt Armendo, the director at the Board of Health, he did a multi-regional grant for getting staff, and he's been sort of administering that. But again, it's a lot of work on his part to be able to do that, and I think there's 3 or 4 towns that are involved. So they do access what they can, but I don't think there's a centralized way, and I don't necessarily know if centralized would be the way to develop it more or not. It's difficult because each department has their own.
Right.
But I agree with you that grant writing is huge in this day and age. There's a lot of money out there for fire and police. There's a lot of money out there now for the boards of health because of the aging population. There's a lot of money out there because of aging and seniors. So again, it's capturing those things.
Good.
So,
Okay.
well,
Okay.
and then there was just one more thing that I wanted to do, and we talk about the review of the job description if we need to. I didn't know if you wanted to do that, but this is, and I know Eileen brought this up last time. This is the Reimagine Aging 2030, the Massachusetts plan, and this came from the governor's office that we got at the MCOA conference, okay? And one of the things that I had said when I went to this conference, this part of it, was that if the last thing I do, this town is going to become age-friendly. We're going to be an age-friendly town in Massachusetts. And I printed up the guidelines. So tomorrow, when I meet with the town administrator, I'm going to bring this up and let him know. A lot of what you have to do to become an age-friendly town, we already do. There are some things that we're lax in because of our rural nature. So we don't have sidewalks because we're rural. So we don't have, walkability is something that's always going to be difficult in Westport because of the nature of where we are. Housing is probably another thing. Transportation is another one. But there's a number of different domains that they work with, and with those domains, there's others that we are doing. So we talk about community support and healthy services, communication and information, civic participation and employment, respect and social inclusion, and social participation. But the transportation, the housing, and the outdoor spaces we do well with for like hiking and walking, but like sidewalks and things like that, it's not as much. Transportation is always going to be an issue where we don't have public transportation a lot, but we also provide the transportation through the COA. So because we do that, we got to step up. So all of these things I can apply for. We've already been doing them, so it should be easy for us to become a designated age-friendly community. And once we're a designated age-friendly community, when there are things that you apply for the state for,
Right.
they say, oh, you're an age-friendly community, you're a dementia-friendly
That's
community.
An asset.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that when you apply for things as a town, they say, oh, well, we recognized you for this. So I want to be able to do that because we're already doing a lot of that.
Right, and I think that Bev and I have talked about this, that this would be very valuable, and since we're already doing so many of the components
Yes.
that are required, that this is a matter of just putting it, packaging it together in a way for the application.
Yes.
And I had said that I would work with Beverly, and I think we invite anybody on the board or anybody in town who is interested in helping to put this together, because this is really a town-friendly designation.
Yeah.
We would welcome the input of any and all, right? And so they could get in touch with me or in touch with Beverly.
And the first, I just have to say that the first thing, step-by-step guide, it gives you a step-by-step guide for each of the
Right.
7 or 8. The first thing it says, secure a commitment from town leadership to join AARP network. So that's that was the thing that was sort of kind of holding us up, because there were other things that they were doing with best practices. I know they did something with technology in the town, with the state. I forget what else. There were 2 things that they did. But we're gonna work on doing this. So tomorrow I plan on it. I hope he's not watching I hope he's not watching this feed, because tomorrow I plan on presenting it to the town administrator when I meet with him.
I think it's really an important thing to do,
It is,
Deborah.
it is.
And it's something that we're,
And it's not
Pretty much
just, even though it says age-friendly, it's not just for seniors, it's for sort of all
Everybody.
ages too,
Right.
so.
right, so that's terrific, and we'll, after you get the go-ahead from the leadership, I think we'll be very happy to work with you on that.
Do we want to review the job description for the or is that something that we want to do in outside? Because
I think that.
you don't necessarily need it.
Right. What we had decided to do, what we've been talking about for the last few months, is that we had looked at we took the 5-page job description and condensed it into what we saw. It's a draft. It's our recommendation to the Personnel Committee.
Yes.
And I have had input from several members of the board here, and Dick Brewer also had, and so that's why it's all in colors from different people. And I'd like to present it as soon as I can to the Personnel Board, so that they can do what they have to do, and they may not like it, a bit, so. But if you have any other additions or suggestions that should be in the job description, it's a professional position, and in looking at through MCOA, it's interesting that several towns call it an executive director of senior services. A name, a rose is a rose maybe, but I think that it's really a pretty big job.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that it just doesn't 5 pages, what just went on and on. This is really helpful that it's to the core.
I just, one comment that when I first read it,
Okay,
I wondered if it was important or not to say the population of the town. Because I think you don't know if you're talking about a town of 50,000, 30,000, 100,000, 2,000, 12,000. It's just a number. Westport is a town of 16,000, whatever the number is, okay?
Is that what it
I think it would be,
16339.
yeah, it would be helpful just to have next to where it says Town of Westport, population,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Then you at least know, is this a big town or a little town? That would be,
Well, and the other statistic that we've talked about before is the percentage
Yeah.
of the town
Seniors.
population.
I agree.
That's seniors.
Are seniors,
And
and
is
the
that
trend
still
that it's
52%?
going in that direction, too.
right.
55 and older. 50, 50,
Is it still
53,
52%?
52, 53% are
important, too.
55 and older out of the 16,000
Right, at this moment.
at this moment.
time.
Because we did the census in 2020, we're already in 2025. So if you take that percentage and move, all those people that were 55, 50 are
Yeah.
now 55, and the people that are 55 to
55.
60 are in the 60s.
Right.
So if you move that over, you add those two, 35 and 15, we're at 53%, I think, or
Right,
whatever it
and we
was.
worked on our strategic plan. I
Yes.
think that was something that we became more and more aware of, is that this is in the state, this is the region of the fastest growing of the senior population. It's no longer Cape Cod or
Yeah.
the Berkshires, it is the South Coast.
Yeah.
And so here we are right in the heart of it. So I think anybody who would be interested in this type of position would also, you're right, maybe need to know a little bit more about the town. Hopefully they'll do their research.
but we might as well say it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Do
Oh,
your
we can put it
research.
in there.
Okay. So,
When do we want to have the job description ready for the personnel?
And how long
ASAP.
do we
Board.
have to do
I
this?
was saying that we would turn it over at the end of.
ASAP.
Okay.
So we
okay.
have time to digest it.
Yeah,
and read
yeah.
it and-
Right, we've been talking about it for a couple months now, and this is like the second or third iteration of the draft.
Yeah.
So.
So maybe,
let me know
I'm
what
just
time-
thinking timelines for them to
Yeah.
advertise. So sometime, if we go to the personnel board sometime in February.
That's right.
And then they can advertise sometime in March, because it has to be
Absolutely.
approved by personnel board and then approved by the select board. And once we get those two processes done and completed, then we have March, and you have April, May, and June. That's, I mean,
Right, it's just not for a professional position, and if you want somebody who has a professional position now, they have to either see out their
Right.
contract or
Right, exactly.
tie up loose
Yeah.
ends at their end.
yeah.
So, within the next 2 weeks, so that we have time to work on this and a target date of turning it over, say, February 1st? January, yes, that's,
Yeah, we're on the
Sunday,
13th, so
Monday.
yeah, we've got some 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
They get
a
a
bit
couple-
more.
But it just, this is what we're recommending, and they may, and the personnel board may have different ideas, and that's fine. Okay, anything else on the, okay.
think
I
I'm
have, we talked about the repair fair, and not everybody may know what the repair fair is. You notice that I said that without my Boston accent. It's very hard for me. But I just thought you might be interested. In my travels, I picked up in Westwood, at their Council on Aging Center, they are having a repair fair, and it's 3 towns. Medford is Sustainable, Medfield, and Dover are also working with them on this. And it's an international movement, if you will, to keep things out of the landfill and to repair the stuff that you have. And it might be, and it includes bikes, clothing, lamps, jewelry, small furniture, small appliances, fixed, free, but not guaranteed. And so what we're looking for is volunteers who know how to fix things. If you know somebody who can do some sewing or fix a sweater, your favorite sweater, fix a lamp.
Lampshade.
You would be responsible, the individual, if I brought my water bottle to be repaired, then I would pay for whatever supplies were necessary. The person is volunteering their skill. I think it's to repair it. It's something that to give it a new life, or so that it doesn't end up in the back of the closet or in the basement, but really give it a new life. Or if it's really dead, then somebody will tell you that it can't be done, you know? So I think we talked about, we would like to have one here. Council on Aging would be a great place to do it on a Saturday. This is in Westwood, February 1st, which I believe is the weekend, and 2:30 to 5:30. It's only for a couple of hours. And when I have gone to these before to see what they are, they're really interesting in that people do have incredible skills. Or, I was a retired jewelry repair person. And so you might need a link in your watch, and you can't see it sometimes to fix it or to tighten it. So I invite you to, if you want to come with me. I'm going up to Westwood on the
I think it's a Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night
Thursday
after the, yep.
afternoon.
This week?
No.
No, a couple
February
weeks.
1st.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Oh, okay, we'll drive up.
I got a date.
You got a date. And so, I mean, there's no guarantees, but I think that this is kind of a.
We should be doing
It's a
this.
fun thing
Yeah,
within the
yeah.
community. We have the capability, we're looking for volunteers. This is a fun and easy way to volunteer, that if you have the expertise.
But you can't bring a tractor in, or you can't bring a backhoe
A
in.
car, yeah, we can't do that. We actually, when Eileen and I.
Why not?
When Eileen and I were at the one of the last MCOA conferences, we went to this, one of these sessions, and they were presenting there wasn't this group, but it was a different group that was presenting on how they did their repair fair. And they said it was a little bit slow at the beginning, but all of a sudden now, they have more than enough
I bet.
people. It's month after month after month that they keep getting people, and they were doing it once a month, and they were doing it now every other Saturday because people needed stuff. It went over very, very well.
I bet.
So that's kind of why we decided this is sort of an easy, fun thing to do on a Saturday from like 10 to 2. People can come into the center. They can repaint something. If you have a rocking chair that's, the spindle's broken or something, somebody can come in and glue it and put it together, different things like that. So we're not going to be taking big things, like you said. We're not going to be fixing a tractor or
no,
fixing a car or anything like that, so.
But it's something that's out there, and it's
Yeah.
something that we had on our wish list of things to do. So
I would just say, I would also think, in the beginning, it's going to be hard to calibrate and calculate exactly what you can do and what people need.
Yeah.
Because in a while, you're going to get a sense of, well, gee, you want your chair fixed,
Oh, wait.
you just go over there and they'll fix your chair.
Well, we would do it they do it on like a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I urge you, there's also a website, it's an international movement. And so they
Yeah.
kind of explain how to set one up and all of that.
Good.
So it's not like we would be
Inventing the
we're not going to reinvent the wheel. There's a format.
But we have a lot of people that sew, we have a lot of people that knit. There were
Right.
some people who have fixed their favorite sweater because it's got a moth hole in it, but they didn't know how to do it. And people who knit brought it, or crochet or whatever, they brought it in and they fixed it and they were like, this is wonderful because I've had this sweater
Right.
forever. And, it was my mother's or my father's or whatever it is, and I didn't want to get rid of it. Sentimental value, even though it has a little hole in it or something.
Right.
So it's been, the places that have had it, it's been very successul. So we're hoping we can be
What
successful.
location would we have it in? Would it be at the center?
Oh, it'd be absolutely at the COA, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And if we did it on a Saturday, we have the large
place,
room,
yeah.
to do it. So it's just something that if people are interested, we'd love to hear from you. It's a great way to volunteer and to do something in your wheelhouse.
The COA has done that before, because I remember going with Josh one time to a woman's house to
Oh,
put a
well,
TV on her wall.
Oh, yes, yes.
We've certainly tried to help where we can.
That's right, we help when we
Yeah.
can. Yes. Good motto.
You should see Josh trying to manage a screwdriver, though. Quite painful.
No,
Sorry, Josh.
Okay.
Now that you let the whole town know.
He's a
Well,
big
some
kid.
people are handier than others.
Yeah.
I guess the motto is better to be handsome than handy. or something like that. Okay. All right, back down to business, please. All right, so we would like to move on. Any other comments on the repair fair? Okay, old business, update of the usage of the old high school, code reviews available, and David, I, and Beverly have been moving and. on this.
Shaking, moving and shaking.
That's
Oh, wait.
right. I do think that since we last met, we have been quite busy. Bev has been busy. Bev, I think we urged you to all look at the resource, the Zoom.
Oh, yes.
From the MMA for adapting public use building. There was a great, what do they call it? A webinar that was done in June on how the reuse of other buildings throughout the state. And we, I think, are proposing this process of just gradually introducing changes to the building. And Beverly applied for a grant, Beverly, to, that we could look at what the code updates, et cetera, were. You want to explain what you've done?
Yeah, I applied through the Cultural Council for a $200,000 grant because they want to reuse buildings to do cultural events, develop community participation in buildings. And I thought with what we wanted to do with our activities I'd love to see us get a choral group in there. I'd love to see us, if somebody wanted to do an orchestra, because if we get into the old high school, we have that auditorium. People could use the stage, they could use the auditorium. There's a drama group that's interested in expanding and finding out other places that they could go to practice and to do things. There's an art group, we have that, what's the that you want to do?
Atrium.
The atrium, sorry, I couldn't think of the word. I was thinking courtyard. The atrium that has metal workings, metal artworks in there. So anybody that wants to do metal artwork or whatever, and the gardening group might want to fix the atrium up in there. So there's a lot of different things that can be done, other than just us using it. There's other, second half learning would be interested in using some of the classroom and the spaces to be able to do some of this, because since COVID, they haven't had a home. They've been using our space and Dartmouth COA space and the library and other places too. So they'd like to have one place where they could have an office and things. So there's a lot of different uses that we could do. So I did put the application in. I'm hoping, to hear something, but like I said, it won't be till mid-May, so I don't know how many, and that's through Mass Cultural Council. And typically, they'll do the beginning part of it, and then they'll do a second part, so it's 18 months or 2 years, and then they'll do a second part too, to continue on, so it's phased, and that's what they've done before. I know Gay Gillespie told me that she had applied to Mass Cultural Council and got a grant for the, at the head, Rivershed. Yeah, she got that grant to be done through the Cultural Council. So there's a lot of different things that, we want to look out there to see how we can capture some of the funds to help the town so that we can, regenerate that building. There's a lot of space, there's a lot of real estate there that we just don't want to waste. We want to make sure that we can capture it.
Right.
So, and the Friends have also generously told us that if we have the town's approval, that they would assist us also with that. So, we're trying to generate some funds and some activities and things that will allow us to be able to expand not only the COA, but the culture of the town. What, people in the survey have, from our strategic plan, they all said they want to retire, they want to stay home, they want to retire in place, they want to age in place, and they want to have things that they can do in their town. They want to be part of their community. They want to be able to go to a play, or go to a concert, or do their exercise or whatever. They want to be able to do it in town. They don't want to have to go 2 or 3 towns over to be able to do things. That's what they wanted. So that's what we're working on.
I think it's important, let me
ahead,
just
go
say,
ahead.
I think it's important, because again, people don't know what we're doing, that we had a meeting, we're specific, we need to talk to people, and to the people here, the steps we're taking and the steps we need to take.
Yes.
Clearly, I think in a way, I don't mean this, don't take this the wrong way, the money's over here. If we can't get in, the money doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
We have to get in
Yes.
before we get money. I mean, I think it's simultaneous, but right now, we need to share with everybody here the things that we did. We sat down in a meeting with the town manager.
A year and a half ago.
No.
No, the recent one
no.
with Ralph,
Town
too.
manager. When
With,
Jim
Oh,
said,
Right.
we sat in a room,
October.
and we said, what do we need to do? What do we need to do to get in this building, right now? What do we need to do? You can tell them what we need.
We have to have another code analysis, because I guess it was Phase 10 or whatever it is. They had Code 9, and now they're at 10. And the 10 code that they did, they said we didn't have all the information, so it's not complete. So we need to go back and do another 10 code synopsis. And I think it's $2,700 is what they said it would
Right.
probably cost to do. It was somebody that Jim gave me that was an architect that said, I gave him some of the information of what we wanted to do with the building, what we wanted to use, and he said, thank you, that's very helpful, and it would be this amount of money. So we're looking at possibly doing that to get it started, to find out, is there anything we need to do? Because there's two, when I looked at Code 9, there's two qualifications. One is E for education, the other is B for business. And the E for education and the B for business, pretty much the code is all this, pretty much the same. There's very, very little change in that to be able to do that. Because we're not making it a senior center. It's people are going to be able to use it, okay? So it's either going to be business or education. When we bring our activities over there, it's going to be our education activities. It's going to be the technology, the one-on-one. It's going to be the knitting class. It's going to be the art class, things like that. So our social services, exercise, yes. Our social services are going to stay at 75 Reed Road, because that's where their home is, that's where our codes for that building cover that. We're not changing that to go over to the high school. The high school is going to be like David's had put together before, a community campus. It's going to be a little bit different. We want recreation in there. We want education in there. We want arts in there. We want,
Veterans.
those kind of things.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I think that and we've been meeting formally and informally with different groups this last month, or since we last met, but we also needed to stress to people, it is not the Council on Aging's plan to take over the whole building, or to have, we do not want to be a property manager or to have that whole building. We have just really focused on, I believe, the
North end.
North end and the atrium. And in the north end, that is really the auditorium and the cafeteria space outside. If we were to have that space, it would be really like a community center. Everybody could come. Everybody could use it. So it's not just for the Council on Aging, but really, our exercise classes are from 8 in the morning to maybe 2 in the afternoon. The rest of the time, there's a number of things that it could be used for. People also forget that there's a whole lot that is going on and currently in that building right now. We have basketball in the middle section. We have after-school programs. So, I mean, and the Board of Education has its administrative offices there. So it's not totally sitting empty. And I think that people forget that if we were to eliminate that building, if it were to come down, it's still going to cost a number of millions of dollars. So what we're proposing is just sort of the gradual introduction to more activities and then see what happens and make it as cost effective as possible. So I think we've put to rest the idea that we're trying to take over the old high school. And really, that is not our intent, but just to have some of that space
Right.
to expand our activities. And it would really, we would no longer need a waiting list then for our exercise programs and our classes. So it's something that we are exploring. And I think this month we have had some very good informal discussions with different members of town leadership.
I just think, just would add this for context. We, because there were people there before us, and that sort of created a lot of angst among some of us who said, how come they're there and we're not? Okay, so we need to put this to rest, that if they asked today to go there, they would have to do what we're doing.
Yes.
Theoretically,
Yes.
this is what we've been
So were
told.
the other people grandfathered in? Like, in other words,
Well,
what?
they were there before the rule,
were there
we
with
went from building code 9 to building code 10.
So
That's
which
where we
means
are.
that
Now,
the
just,
people who are currently there now have to
No.
comply with 10?
no,
They're
no, I'm just saying, their
automatically-
grandfather, they were there before building code 10 went into effect.
This is our
Okay,
understanding from
this is,
talking to
this is not clearly explained to
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to
year and
get.
a half?
Yeah, to get an answer
get
to
to
So
this.
the daycare was there before?
Yes.
Yes,
the
yes.
school, so the daycare
It
was
was-
always there
It's always
when the
there.
high school was
There.
Yes.
viable?
Yes.
So the training programs that take place with police or whatever, they were doing that there at that
Yes.
time?
Well, I'm
Best of our
telling,
knowledge.
Okay.
No, it's like, we're not trying to be property managers.
Yeah.
Okay.
just telling you that, and I don't want to, believe it or not, I don't know, just telling to you now, today, if we went there, we were told, anybody went there today and asked, you'd be under jurisdiction 10, not code number 9, okay? We're asking when it's code 10, they asked when it was code 9, okay? Whatever they did, they complied, whatever was required to be, I think, okay, doesn't matter. We're asking, it's code 10. We said, okay, how do we get in here? Code 10, okay? And they said, you need to have this, what do you call it?
A synopsis, we have to do another code synopsis.
You have to do a
and
code
evaluate.
synopsis, okay?
And tell them, I think.
How
when
many
they- when
rooms
they
you
did the-
want, what they are, what do you want to use them for? So we.
And they didn't have all that. They didn't have all the information. And I think one of the other things that sort of muddled this is in the beginning, it was a school department. It was the school that owned it, the building. And then the school transferred it over to the town, but they kept their administration there because they didn't have offices for the administration. So it's always been a little muddled. It's not, you know what I mean? It wasn't
It
always.
was easy to hide,
Yeah,
it was
it was-
easy to be, it was easy not to be clear.
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
that's,
yes,
how about if I say?
yes, and that's
it's
right.
Easy not to be clear. So if
That's-
you wanted a direct answer, it
It-
wasn't either intentional, unintentional, it was never clear.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
It took us a year and a half to get to this sort of absolute truth that, oh, we have
What
to
we have to
comply with code number 10. Okay?
And
Once we
Beverly
get the-
then was able to apply for the grant that would allow us to do the assessment to see what needs to be done, because this costs money, that you need engineers and professional people. I mean, we're not just saying like, we want to take it over. This needs to be a professional process that we're under.
And I would say that the request, how many rooms did you ask for? 13? I forget what you did.
No.
Oh, I don't,
Well, you had a, you had a,
I had
you
the-
had a graph.
I had
They
the
said,
layout,
show me
I
the
had the
building,
layout, so-
Show me the building and how many offices. You had to say,
Yeah.
how many, where in the building did you want to do this and how many offices, okay?
I think we did, I think I did like square footage of what we
Okay,
wanted.
so have you
Out of
submitted that yet?
150.
Yes. that-
Yeah, oh, yeah, that
Okay,
went-
so you
that went
submitted.
in. Yeah, I
So we're
submitted
in
that
the
to Jim.
process of waiting
Yeah.
for them to say, oh, this is code 10, what you want to do vis-à-vis code 10 is, you're all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's one answer.
The space that we want, it would.
Go ahead, you can go
Who has
in.
the codes? Who has the interpretation of the codes that we can look at?
The engineers, oh, I don't have that.
It's
But the engineering company that we're going to hire.
There's a code 10.
Yeah,
and then
Ralph
there's
will
a code
probably-
Ralph
Yeah.
Souza.
Co-
who was at the
Ralph
building.
Souza is going to be able to say, it complies or doesn't comply, and if it doesn't comply, it has to go to Boston. And there's a process for
The
this.
the state level,
There's a process for this,
right.
okay?
So-
And that's to be like grandfathered in.
Yeah.
No pun intended to use grandfathers, by the way.
So,
But that's-
we are in the.
but that's what they
We
call
are
it.
in the midst of a bureaucratic
Process.
process, which was never defined.
Yes.
It was just talked about like, oh, you can't go in, or you can go in. Oh, no, you can't go in. Or you can go in. Or you can't go in. So
So
this
when
is what we
anybody
were
has-
rocking back and forth between these two
Right.
until we sat in a room and we said, okay, you
What do
tell
we
us
need to do?"
exactly what we need to do.
Right, this is our need, you have this resource, how can we make?
And that's where we are.
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
When we had the town meeting there, did it fall under code 9 or code 10?
Oh, I
What-
don't
You know what,
Oh, the-
Lisa,
doesn't
you know what, it's not worth,
Doesn't matter?
Oh.
Like
It do- I
anyone
don't-
who wants to have a meeting there?
No,
anyone
no,
who
no,
wants
no,
to
not
have that-
anybody. That was the
No.
town building office.
And they
And they were able to do, they,
own
This is where the town owns it, this is where things get muddled, and we're not the experts. And we want to follow the proper channels so that it will be set in place once and for all, for the sort of reuse of part of the building. And it would be a really great community resource as a community campus. Because then it just, for a lot of reasons, that North End fits in very nicely to our type of activities, our needs, and we can have a lot of fun there.
But it's not, nothing is, right now,
Nothing is happening.
nothing is guaranteed.
No.
And you'd be surprised how long it took to get to what we're saying,
That's right.
to be that clear. I mean, we had to sit in a room and basically say, what do we need to do to get in that building? You tell me what we need to do, and we will do it.
We'll find out how to.
Okay, that's where we are. I mean, it just was sad. It was very sad that it took this long.
And we've been, we want to make it happen, and we don't want the whole building, and we want to be able to use the space
Right.
as a town entity, and as and town programs, and town-sponsored programs, we'd like to use the town space, and how to do it safely. That's.
So how did you guys feel when you left the meeting? What
There's
was
more than
your-
one meeting.
We've been meeting regularly on this, and
Oh, yes.
we have coffee with this one, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, like, it's
Been-
been an informal process, because it's not a public meeting. We just really want to know, and so it has been, I don't even want to think about the number of meetings or hours that have gone into these discussions.
And there's been a number of people from very different departments and different organizations. So we have the long-term, the high school reuse committee, that's part of it. So there were different entities trying to make decisions, but none of them were together. And for now, we're getting people from each one of those
Talking.
areas together so that we can all say, this is our concern, this is their concern, this is your concern. And we're trying to figure out, how do we do
Right,
this?
how we-
How do we get it to a yes, right,
How do we get
David?
the yes?
How do we get it to a yes?
And we're closer than ever.
Yes, we are.
At least having the answers to know how to proceed. So anyway, that we try to keep this board updated on where we are, because
Yeah.
we feel that our strategic plan really
Right.
gave us the impetus and the permission, since we took the input from people, to do more programs and to expand our programs. So if you have any other questions, you can ask now or give us a call. Yeah, or- it's just ongoing,
I think so.
Okay, so, plans for the 250th anniversary. Lisa and I signed up as a subcommittee, and anybody can join us to do events and programs. And I think that we're going to meet at some point very soon. We were encouraged, if you recall, to come up with activities. We said that we would like to do a few activities to help celebrate the anniversary this year. And there's quite a bit of information, so stay tuned. We'll be bringing something. Okay, and so, for new business, Helene Holgate is going to talk to us about transportation, transportation program. If you recall, we have had asked that we have a presentation, or at least to educate ourselves and to update on the different departments and programs of the COA. So, Helene.
So one of the main things we do at the Council on Aging is transportation. We make sure that our social day participants get where they're going, so they basically have their scheduled ride, and then people can call for rides, medical rides and whatnot, rides to Market Basket, things like that. And we also manage our vehicles in a national website called Black Cats, where they monitor our mileage and how many rides we do. There's an age of vehicle, and the vehicles actually age out, and we don't have to monitor those anymore. I think it's 10 or 10.
It's anywhere between 5 and 7 years.
Yeah, and
It's
but
over
we-
100,000 miles.
We do monthly mileage, so the drivers do the mileage and put that in the transportation reports. So anyways, when someone calls to schedule a ride, we make sure that they're in our catchment area, not so much, like, we're not gonna go to Fall River to pick people up, things like that. The rate for transportation has gone up, we asked for a donation of $15 as opposed to 10, it was basically $5 a ride, where round trip it would have been $10. Now it's $7.50 one way, $15 for two ways. And that can be medical or to grocery shopping, a store. Some people are just standard on the list. We have people we pick up and they go to like the Walmart and Aldi, things like that. And the drivers are really, really nice. They really care about the people. They go in and find the people when they, wander. And like we even had, like they were even helping people with their groceries, but we had to put a stop to it. So, because it's just too much. We can't, It just leaves our drivers at risk for, things like dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but that's mainly it. I mean, I'm responsible for transportation. I'm like a coordinator, but like, because we have a clerk, I don't really do a lot of it. So, but I don't mind doing it. And then you can do so when you go to book the ride, you can then do schedule a return ride, which I didn't know. So that was one thing that I had to learn. But it's very simple, and the rides are really reliable. The driver will call before he goes, and, they're looking for somebody to answer. And they know when someone's going to be waiting outside, things like that. But they'll call the center and make sure that the person's going to be there, like have us call, things like that. So, do we have any
a waiting
questions?
list for people? I mean, I'm just curious, is there an increasing demand for this, or?
It's very popular.
Yes.
It is?
And like, I've had myself 2 calls where somebody wanted to ride to jury duty in New Bedford. Somebody wanted to ride to a doctor's in Middletown, Rhode Island. Maybe something, like, he's like, oh, but I've used your service before, and it's like, well, maybe in the past, but it's just not something we're doing now. We just can't. We have too many people that need rides, and we have 4 drivers. 5 drivers. We have like our main drivers, like for Social Day, and then we have our, other part-time drivers where we always need help. I mean, even if someone's coming in 5 hours a week, they have another job and they're just coming in and helping out when they can. So it's very popular. And the really good thing is the drivers care. They don't just, like drop somebody off and, oh, well, which, working in a.
And how long do most drivers last? They last 5 years, 2 years?
11 years,
Yeah.
12
11.
years,
Yeah.
15 years. I got some people that have been there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, too, is that they are people who have extra training beyond like, oh, I can drive, I have a
Right.
valid
Yes.
driver's license, but they have extra training that we provide. I think we had talked about at our last meeting, the extra training for
Hosting community, we host other communities.
We have.
And yeah, it's not just like one training, it's like there's several.
Ongoing.
And they're ongoing and they're months apart. And even to start doing it, there's quite a bit that someone does like on their own to do it.
There's like 20 hours of training. They have to be CPR certified on the van. They can't drive by themselves with somebody if they're not CPR certified. They have to be wheelchair securement if they're going to use one of the wheelchair vans. They have to have defensive driving. They have to have ADA. They have to have drug and alcohol. So there's a whole bunch of trainings that they have to do beforehand. And then they do monitoring that one of the other drivers will sort of sponsor them and see how they do and show them and do that. And then we evaluate. But we also do a door-to-door. We don't do curb-to-curb. So we do door-to-door. So if somebody's coming out with a walker and they're getting to the van, we make sure that the door is closed and they're getting out of the door and, or if there's groceries to help them, with the groceries and things like that. So we sort of go above and beyond. And that was the grant that I applied for for DOT, we talked about earlier, the $75,000 for operation, because it takes a lot. And this past year, just so you know, for transportation, we did just under 6,000 rides last year for people. And even though it's only, I don't know, maybe like 152 people that get rides, those 152 people, it's critical because they
Yeah,
need
of
to go
course.
to their growth. And they want to continue to go out into the community and do things, but they can't drive anymore. But they can still go grocery shopping, or they can go get their meds at the apothecary or whatever. Or they can go and visit somebody, a spouse in a rehab, things like that, all of those kind of things that they wouldn't be able to do. So transportation is really, really critical, especially in this town. It's in this town, it's really critical. And like I said, most of our drivers have been around for quite a while, and they stay for a long time.
Can I just throw an idea out? I know, it's always dangerous when I do that.
I know, I know.
But
I'm like, okay.
When I volunteer at the Heritage over in Sandwich.
Yeah, okay. Oh, in Sandwich, okay.
And they have, besides hydrangeas and other plants, they have a huge car. They have, it's all Eli Lilly money, and they have maybe 25 antique cars. So at the volunteer day, you go there and there are 100 volunteers, and you have the people at the antique car place. And it's an interesting idea. They adopt a car. 5 or 10 people adopt a car, fund the rehab of the car.
Oh,
Interesting idea. So they get 10 people, they say, well, we have a new car, okay, whatever it is, a 1937 Mercedes or whatever, and they'll get people, 5, 6, 8 people. They're all car people who want to work on cars, fix cars, whatever. And I thought, well, that's an interesting idea. I wonder if we could get people to adopt vans. I mean, this is an integral part of our town. I mean, if we're going to provide services to our town, we know these things cost a lot of money, okay? I don't know how they get maintained. I mean, we don't have a garage. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but we could ask how they, I mean, they have a garage, they have everything over
Yeah.
at Heritage. But they, at the last volunteer program, they said, we're getting another car. We need more volunteers to adopt this car.
Interesting.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
idea.
It is.
It's funny, too, that you should bring that up, because my husband's he's retired now, but he was with Ford for 46 years. And a lot of businesses, when they upgrade their equipment, like spray booths, if you're going to actually spray paint a car, they don't have any place for the old stuff to go, so they donate it to things like that, as long as you have the room to do it. They have lifts that are available, not necessarily lifts that are in the concrete, but they have portable lifts.
Right.
And people are familiar with them, because some car buffs stack cars in their garage, right? So you have to comply with the fire department and all of that, based on the space that you're going to work in. So I think the idea is phenomenal, and it serves both businesses. Businesses want to donate, and they want to get rid of an older piece of equipment because they're getting a newer piece, but the older one is, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it might not be able to support their volume. So,
Or people just want to, work on a car.
right.
And
That's
they're
how they wanna
going to
volunteer.
adopt one of these
Exactly.
5 vans.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just saying that the idea of, when they said, well, who wants to adopt the next car?
Yeah.
Okay, God, they got people funding this, they got people working on it, they like to work on cars.
Yeah.
And here's an integral part of our community. And I bet a lot of people in this town know how to fix.
We have a lot of car enthusiasts in this town. We really do. Although I know a lot of the men.
We should tap, so I'm thinking, why don't we
Yeah.
try to tap into that somehow? I don't know how, but.
I think you should incorporate into that fix-it thing that you guys are and just do an adoptive car and do an adjunct to it,
Right.
The
I
only-
have a quick question with regards to transportation. Is there an out-of-pocket expense? And then my second question is, I know that I just did Medicare, and you have to do all these different parts, and believe it or not, one of my benefits is that I get to and from, 30 transportation rides, God forbid, if I ever needed it moving forward as a result of my disability. Are those fees, they give you like a credit card with like $2,500 on it or something like that. Do we take that, and is that what you would pay for the COA, or is there a fee? How does all that work?
We have a donation request. We don't do fees, because I didn't want to be a livery where we had to, a cab company where we had to take a certain fee. So we do donations. So there are people who pay, there are people who, our suggested donation is right now $7.50 one way and $15 round trip. And we accept whatever people give us. There are sometimes where people can afford to pay, and there are sometimes where people can't. But we never refuse anybody to go for a medical appointment or anything else.
So we never refuse
So,
anybody.
no, we haven't. The only time we might tell people is if we're already booked, but medical comes first. Medical and supportive day come first. So if somebody called me and said, I need to go to the hairdresser, but I can't afford it, and I had a whole bunch of medical, the medicals come first. So it has nothing to do with the funds or anything that come in.
Okay.
And the funds go into our transportation revolving account, and our transportation revolving account supports some of the transportation. Like I said, last year, transportation cost total with repairs and everything else, and the van drivers and the transportation clerk and everybody was $125,000 for the total cost last year, 2025, I should say. And then we took in $122,000, and that was with grants and other things. So we were close, Sometimes we're $6,000, $8,000 off. I think the most we've ever been off was like somewhere around $14,000 or $15,000, I believe. We were short in 1 year. But for the most part, we try to keep it close. But again, with me not getting those transportation grants, that's why I increased the budget for the town. I doubled from 30 to 33 to like 60,000. So again.
But this is,
we don't-
this refers back to what David says,
Yeah.
Obviously, people aren't aware that, that these funds are there because of your expertise in getting and being proactive, but then in the same token, giving a complimentary ride, for these essential services through transportation. People don't realize, all of the efforts that are taking to provide that service. I didn't realize either that there is you would never turn away
No,
someone
we don't
like
turn, we
this.
don't turn anybody away. And the other thing that we do too, just so people do know, we have the Massachusetts 250. Sometime in August, they're doing a Friday and Saturday event from, I think, 10 or 11 to 4. And they had already called me and asked me if they could use a van. So we have the van one van on Friday and 2 vans on Saturday. And they're going to transport people because there's going to be a parking area. I think they're getting a schooner or a big ship in, and they want people
One of
to
the
go.
tall ships.
So we said that we would do that. So we do that, we donate that. I pay for the drivers typically, usually whatever company, whatever, if it's the cultural council or the fishing heritage, or whatever it happens to be, they usually give us a donation after that, But I don't ask them for fees. And a lot of times they tip the driver too, And I know we've had, for the walk, we've had it. There was a home, a garden trip and a home trip where people were going into some homes to see things. And I know one of my drivers did that, and she did that. And she said she had, they park, like at the school parking lot or whatever it happens to be, they park there, and then they shuttle them back and forth, so there's not so much on the back roads. So there's a lot of those things that we kind of do for the community too, so.
And to answer your question, the vans need to be inspected and repaired, just like your car. So we have vendors in town that we have relationships with, so, things break. I mean, in the summer, air conditioners broke, and you can't have people on the van without air conditioning, so.
Oh, yeah, it's metal, it's like a bread box.
Yeah.
So if you got the heat on
One
it,
thing
it's not that.
you kept mentioning about tapping into the retirees in town, and most of those drivers are retired. Most,
Yes,
not all
yes,
of them.
not all of them, but most
They're
of
not
them.
doing it for the pay.
Yes.
Because
That's
they could
right.
easily go work for a larger transportation company
That's
and make a lot more money. They're retired folks. They like dealing with who they deal with every day. They enjoy their job, and that's why they go above and beyond. So we're fortunate in the staffing that we have, that are willing to do it at the pay they get, but it's not always about pay. It's
Right.
that connection.
Yes.
And they do go out of their way. They do drive me nuts blowing the horn when they pull into the senior center all the time. That makes me crazy, but they're really some great people who
That's
are
right.
very
Yeah.
supportive, and they care about who they pick up. And
That's right.
That's invaluable,
Yes.
and that department does a great job with that.
It really does. Thank you for,
Yeah.
it's almost like they are volunteers, but getting a stipend. 'cause
Yes,
they-
yes,
they
yes,
don't
yes.
really get, they get a
big
salary,
salary.
but,
Yeah.
you know, it's.
Maybe we should highlight them in a newsletter every month.
Sure we can. When I
do?
expand that newsletter, we can do a
Yeah.
department every month or
Yeah.
so
right.
and highlight the
Employee of the
drivers and
month
things,
or-
yeah.
Highlight the
yeah.
drivers.
It's the people,
It's the
It is.
people.
Yeah, it's the people.
and it's the culture, and it's
Right.
there.
It's
It's there to take care of who we need to take care of. And
Thank
we're lucky, and
Yeah.
most people don't even realize
They-
how
that's right.
fortunate we are.
And I would say to your point, and I think this is a trend that's happening, that's sad, not sad, but we have an aging society, okay? So you might have been gifted to get grants when there was less demand, but now it's much more difficult, because every town's got an aging population. They're all asking for the same pot of money.
Yes.
And I'm sure when they see Bev, it's like, oh, here's Bev, you know what I mean? For the last 10 years, you know, she's been very diligent, so they recognize that. And a lot of times too, you know, I'm sure that there are seldom errors where the new kids on the block put things in that don't know how to code it properly. And I think Bev's point, when you have the expertise in each department, they know how to word it because they work in that department, so they're very familiar with the services, and I think.
And they can
that-
articulate the needs.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the essential part. Like,
Right.
if we were applying something for the police department and you're not a police officer, I'd be like, well, what are you talking about?
Those are your
you know?
content experts when you
Yes.
do grant
Yeah.
writing, and those are the
Right.
people that know.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing.
I
So
agree.
we're fortunate to have Beverly. Anything else for transportation that we need? And I thank you, Helene, and I thank you, Beverly.
Any other questions? Any
No.
questions at all?
No? I thank you.
Need a ride? No.
Okay, for topics not reasonably anticipated in the last 48 hours.
The only thing is Helene handed out this
That's-
form again for people.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that people know
The
this was
charts
her, she updated this, the charts for December. And Helene and I, at the end of the week, are going to meet, and we're going to do a 6-month review from July to December on where our numbers are, so that we can see where we are in each area. So is transportation revolving going up, going down? Supportive day, like Muriel said, it's going down. So we're going to look at those trends and see what kind of things. I'm hoping that with some of the increases in fees, that we're going to be able to sort of recoup. We'll see.
Bev got her $10,000 from MIIA. She got
Oh, yeah,
reimbursed, so
yeah.
that's in there now.
Yes,
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's good.
For the sink,
For the
grease trap
The grease trap.
that we had to do, she had applied for the grant, so she got that money.
Well, thank you. Thank you for keeping it all straight for us. I had a couple of things. I wanted to thank the Friends for having such a wonderful celebration.
Yes, it was.
I
Yeah, it
hope
was.
I hope it was beneficial. When we wanted, it was for the birthday party. It happened the day after, I believe.
December 10th,
Yeah,
Yeah,
happened right after our meeting.
40th, yeah.
and it was just a great time.
Yeah,
It
good
was,
stuff.
it was very, very nice. It was very, very
Beautiful.
nice. Yeah, it was done very, very well, from the drinks to the food to the setup and everything. It was really, really done very nice. And the pictures that they had along the wall with all of the history.
And have they put those pictures at the COA?
I haven't seen them yet.
Because they were going to do
Okay,
that.
yeah.
We were saying that how, the history of this, the Council on Aging and the Friends is so intertwined, but but to have it captured in pictures was just really so special. And that we had asked that if we could somehow hang those, excuse me, in the building, in the senior center. It just really special, and like, oh my goodness, I recognize Cindy from a few years ago, and, you know, and a few others like that, but it just, but thank you, that was really a wonderful
It was
celebration.
really nice.
Yeah.
It was great.
Was it, excuse me, I just had a question, was it very successful in terms
Yes.
of fundraising?
I don't know exactly how much, but we didn't lose money.
That's always a good.
That's a good thing, yeah.
That's the key.
That's
That's the key.
I think the next item that I wanted to announce, and Beverly, maybe you can help me, is that pretty soon, the tax preparation season will be upon us. It means that there'll be, I think people are aware that the income tax people come, and they are from AARP, they're specially trained. People are making appointments now, not appointments now, but
They're giving their name.
they're giving the names.
We have 3 pages already of
I
names
know.
of people,
Right.
but they will have 3 people every Wednesday from 12:30 to, I think, 3:30. And then, because they usually have 4 people, but they only have 3 this time. But they have 2 people on Tuesday afternoon that are going to come in. So we've got an extra day. So as soon as Peter gives Joan the times and the days and the people, she's going to start calling people and putting them into their
I
their
have my
appointments.
appointment already, Joan called.
Oh, see
Right.
that?
May 3rd,
Right.
12:30.
So you
So, yeah.
really, people who are interested need to call the center
Yes.
right away so they can get on the schedule.
And it's the easy forms. I don't think that they do a lot of the complicated forms for people, so if anybody has complicated forms and things that they need, they probably should seek out a CPA or somebody, or a tax specialist.
Right.
Just because these people are volunteers and they're trained, and when the changes come up, they have to learn all the changes, so.
I think that
I think we
last
start,
year
I think
had
we
looked
start
at
February,
600 or 700 people
yeah.
from town, and that's money that stays in town. That's what we have to, I think, keep in mind, is that, and people are not making mistakes
Yeah.
and getting flustered. This is a phenomenal service, and so thank you for.
And it's free service?
It's a free service, it's mostly geared towards seniors, because it's AARP, and we don't, it's not just Westport Town, though, we have people from Dartmouth coming,
That's
we
right.
have people from,
Close by.
Fall River, other places that come too, because not every COA does this, a lot of the COAs were doing it, but a lot of the volunteers after COVID never came back, so they haven't been able to get the volunteers that they needed. So we get people from Somerset, Swansea that call us, and they come every year, and they have the easy form.
So who do we see? We see Joan or Coral?
Joan,
Joan?
Paul, Joan's the one who usually puts it all together.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like clockwork every
Yeah.
Good.
year. It's just
And I always
really
tell them, I'm old enough, so I can do my taxes.
right.
But I tell them that I'm in my office and I have my paperwork with me, and I tell them, wait until somebody doesn't show up or you have a vacancy, and then I'll just go fill in there, rather than make an appointment. So it's
So-
easier that way.
I just thought we need
Yeah.
to sort of
Announce
announce
it.
that and to remind people that.
And it's in the newsletter this month too, but
Right.
for people to call. The biggest thing is we always get people, just like with open enrollment for Medicare, we always get people that call us the week before the 15th and, oh, I need an appointment. It's like, we've been booked for 2 months already, you know what I mean? And we tell people, and sometimes people make an appointment early because they want to get in, but they don't have their paperwork yet. And that's the other thing, you have to wait till you get your paperwork in. So then they say, well, I can't make that appointment because I don't have my paperwork. But now they've taken an appointment away from somebody else that did have
Right.
it. So we try to tell people to be aware. If you know your bank doesn't send you the paperwork until later in February or early March or whatever, you get it, or call your bank or whoever to find out, your financial institution. Call them to find out when you're going to get it, so that you know. And it's easier to make, like you said, you made yours for May,
Right.
so,
Right,
Just in case, because you
Yeah.
wait for your
Yeah.
paperwork, tax
That's right.
information.
so.
right.
Yeah.
So there's a whole list. In fact, I had a newsletter from 10, 11 years ago. It was in my mother's package of things. And so we've been doing the taxes and the from the AARP for many, 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 many years. And it's just a checklist of the things that you need. You also need to have ID.
Yes.
And people, it's amazing the number of people who show up without a pictured ID. But this is one of the other
Now they
things
need
that's
it. Mm-hmm.
required. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, we could always use volunteers if you're interested in volunteering. We have all kinds of programs, and we can keep you busy. And-
Call the center, and especially if you have any skills for the repair.
The cafe.
The repair thing we want to do, the technology cafe. Supportive Day program has quite a few people already.
That's right.
But it's those kinds of things that we could use, so.
All right.
Give us a call.
So, any other items that people need to bring before us today? No? Well, then, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Boy, that was
We
fast.
do that.
Aye.
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 Thank you all.
Thank you very much.